Beautiful people, Amanda New Earth here. I thought I'd just do something a little bit different. I'm down watching a whale out there. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You know, for the last 2 days, we've actually had no cloud on the horizon, which has been absolutely phenomenal. It was just the most beautiful thing. But I thought I'd just do something really different today because it's just felt a bit inspired to do it. But you know, we're living in a really holographic experience at the moment. It's really hard to explain to people who are just pretty fresh on the journey. You know, it's multi-dimensional and it's multi-terrestrial. And I just came up with something yesterday, which I just thought I'd explain a little bit about, which is everyone's just getting so riled up, and it's just so fantastic. It's part of the Great Awakening. So that's the one side of the dimension. And that side of the dimension really is for the pain that people are feeling, to squeeze them awake, to crack them open. And it's a phenomenon, you know. I've been on the journey for like 40 years, you know, and it was 12 years ago that I was down in Sydney and I was protesting Agenda 21. And here we are. You know, there's a lot of us on the journey that are a little bit weary, as in tired and exhausted. And it makes it a bit hard to come out because it's such a complexity that we're in. And it's like a massive big tangle of string. Which string do you go for first to get your clarity? And I just wanted to show you the colour of the sky. I mean, that colour hasn't been around for multiple years, since I was a child. As my children say, they put it out. I haven't seen the sky like this since I was a child. So it's quite phenomenal. And there's something that needs to occur for some people who have so much momentum on the fact that they know that there's all the tyranny. They've been awake for a long time. I know a lot of people have been awake for a long time, but they can't seem to change gear, change motor even, to understand that there are different things going on. So say I used to be part of the chemtrail movement, used to make orgonite, all that sort of thing, but people don't seem to be able to see that the chemtrails have changed. And that's a phenomenal thing, to have a sky that blue. That means it's cleaning up. So I was told last year that they've actually been cleaning up the sky with all the chemtrails. And the weather modification is out of their hands and it's being used for good, like creating massive rains to flood dams, things like that. So this is the interesting thing, that we can get really, really locked into certain systems and not find any hope out of the way and keep perpetuating the same old story, when sometimes we need to rejig. We seem to need to reevaluate the things that are going on. So that's why I say it's a multidimensional. And the multidimensional thing, which is, you know, the pressure that's put on people at the moment, the absolute pressure. Well, we know that diamonds are made out of coal under pressure. So this is what's going on. It's creating an incredible situation for humans to turn into diamonds, tough, strong and clear. And I would suggest that that's also what's going on. It's amazing how Agenda 21 used to be only Agenda 21 and now it's Agenda 21 2030. And not everyone's going to handle the fact that there has been a 6,000-year-old plus, probably more, death cult. And a saying that I learned from somebody many years ago, they used to know the Vedas, the old traditions of Hindi. And they said that to me this saying, and I can't remember all of it, but this first part of it just makes so much sense. They knew that the earth was run by man-eating Rakshasas that delighted in pitching men in war. And that's also, like, a Rakshasa is like a monster, okay? And we would put it down to reptiles or whatever. So that's a pretty amazing thing. You know, they knew. And that's India. Now, India is amazing because they're actually handing out a totally different med as a solution for the problems that are going on. And I'd say it's because they know. And I'd say that it's because they know exactly what's going on. They know the world is run by man-eating Rakshasas, which takes us into the fact that I don't think everybody's going to handle the 6,000-year-old massive cult that has been running this planet, that has implemented everything. What have they implemented? They've implemented big media, big pharma, big tech, big corp, and everything. They own everything. So you've got the House of Roth and the House of Rock, okay? And they've come together and they've merged into pushing forward all of these things that are going on right now that we see on the surface. But what we've always seen, what we've never known in the background, is that they have their biggest market on and off planet has been humans. The most expensive drug on this planet is adrenalized blood. The younger, the better. I mean, these are the things that make you think that worrying about the vax. Of course we need to rise. I mean, that's the thing. That's part of the Great Awakening. But what's behind it all will shock everybody. Will shock absolutely everybody. And that's why it's so fascinating for me to have watched so many people find one little piece of that tangled ball of string and just, it gets you to it. It gets you to the truth. But then I've also found people who've become very, very lazy to dig deeper and to find that there are other things going on. Other things that are going on. And what I found so incredible is that just the fact of the censorship just has not ticked people off, has not sparked them. And the complicity in the just acceptance. So this happens because we have a 21 to 28 day pattern for new neural pathways. And so we've been in many, many cycles. We've been in over 30 cycles of 28 days for them to implement the new norm. So it takes an individual to actually stop that neural pathway from happening. And so that means switching off big tech, switching off big everything, big media. Oh, I just hunted out a nudie out of the dunes. Sorry, guy. Anyway. And so now everyone's going to take the 6,000-year-old death cult that has been hidden. But the one thing that is our remedy is to shine the light, which is the truth, onto it. And that's one string that goes a long way. So I'm sick of talking about rabbit holes. They're actually balls of string. They all end up at the same place. And I'm going to say that what we're witnessing is the takedown of big pharma, big tech, big corp, and big cult. And that's what's pretty amazing. I mean, when I found out that they had over 1 million pages on Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, which is unsealed, the whole unsealed Epstein thing, 1 million pages. Who has that 1 million pages? Well, this is the other side of the coin of the holographic that we're experiencing at the moment. And this is the thing that's called the Alliance. It's meant to be 17 to 27 countries who have come together to take down the 6,000-year-old death cult. This 6,000-year-old death cult has taken all of your wealth, all of your health, all of your prosperity and has manipulated all of your belief systems. And the saddest part about that is it's taken power from the people as well. Left them dazed and confused. And that dazed and confused is as obvious as you get. Obvious. I've just got some people walking along the beach, so I'll just go back to the sky. Now, the interesting thing about the Alliance is that they are also secret. And they're using the art of war, Sun Tzu, the art of war. And they know that what happened was that the death cult infiltrated every facet of life. And that's what we're seeing on the television. That's what everything we're seeing is that infiltration. But behind the scenes, we have a huge conglomerate of incredibly brave people that have been working on shutting down their transit lines, their underworld cities. And we'll flick over to the Georgia Guidestones of 500 million people. And that's been around for a long time, and we all knew back when that it was part of Agenda 21 to depopulate. So I don't know how many of you, when you heard that that call to action last year, it was like the soul rose for the next layer of truth to be revealed, and it was a very exciting yet scary time. Yet I'm still seeing that it's still a sort of, sometimes it gets you, the fear gets you, but that fear, if you grab onto one of those pieces of string, it will lead you. It will lead you to the truth, and the truth gets us out of everywhere. So if they've got 1 million pages on Ghislaine Maxwell, they've got all the shit, all the info on every perp trader here in Australia and New Zealand. They have everything. And the reason why I can say that is because the cabal created something called the Hammer in the US. Then we had the Five Eyes, which was an intercontinental spy group, Australia, New Zealand part of it. And when Obama left office, they had the Hammer, the big spy machine, the data on everybody. So they have the data on everyone. There's no stone that has not been unturned. And what we're seeing at the moment is the death wiggles of the tentacles that came off the big serpent, the big Rakshasa. So they have 1 million pages on Ghislaine Maxwell. Isn't that incredible? So don't think they don't have all of the bits and pieces on ScoMo and all the rest of them. I'd like to say, point out to you, where is the opinionated Rupert Murdoch? Where's the opinionated Gina Rinehart? Where are these pillars of society that everyone used to look up to? Where are they? Where are all the celebrities at the moment? You know? Something big is going on, something big is going down. The secret government is being exposed. And I just want to assure you that here in Australia, the Alliance is here. But it's not to feel safe. It's to still rise, part of the Great Awakening. We can still know that that is going on, but we can't really just leave it up to them. But it's a spiritual war as well. And the spiritual war is, where in our hearts we need to resonate with the deep truth, the deep resilience of the human spirit, and not let the surface dwellers get away with it. That's why it's so important to speak out and to flood the media with your opinion. It's so important. This part is we're not to lay on our laurels and just expect the Alliance to do everything. I'm pretty sure, I feel it in my heart that it's not too much longer now. Now, I've been on the journey for 40 years, so here comes somebody on the beach. So, in terms of that, another few years is going to be really, really tricky. But it feels like something is about to flip, something pretty soon. I heard that in America, that a lot of governors went to the Pentagon and 5 or 6 of them didn't exit. So there's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on that we really, really don't kind of know what the hell. All the facts, all the details, but our heart can tell us. Do I choose fear or do I choose the light, the truth? So it's pretty amazing what we're watching is the takedown. If we ever hear the word sustainability, we know that it's in fact Agenda 21. If we hear anything about climate change, weather modification or whatever, that's the Club of Rome, the Club of Madrid. You should check out who's in the Club of Madrid. You know, Kevin Rudd. I mean, they've all been part of it. The Rockefellers gave us the American medical, FDA, all of these things. I mean, you know, they're the sort of things that we need to understand. But the thing behind it is a big cover-up of the satanic cult. You know, the things that they've gone up to, I really can't hardly talk about it. It brings me to tears so bleak and much, and I thank Fiona Barnett from the bottom of my heart for bringing that information to me. The most powerful information to me with eyes wide open. Just incredible, just absolutely incredible. Now, I don't know if anybody noticed, you know, we've been under intense duress, but something lifted last Thursday. And the way I was describing it to a friend was that there was a demon all over everybody trying to get the last bit of fear squeezed out. And it kind of just disappeared. It was something happened. And they've been working very, very, in a really big way up in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, or just all over Australia, bringing down all of the underground world. But we can't really disclose too much because it may stop it going forward, and I don't want it to stop. I want to give them the privacy to keep going. And I want to give a call out to all of the people who are doing that work. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. There's a big mess here. Massive, huge mess. And you would have heard that we get 25 to 30,000 new military came in just recently. And I've been watching the military come in, and I just want to assure you that there's two sides. This is holographic. Now, the Alliance is dealing with non-terrestrial as well. That's why it's actually multi-terrestrial as well. This is huge what's going on. It's not just our local council members and all the crap, you know. Oh, I missed a beautiful whale that was so close just down there. There's just so much going on that it's like it takes the full soul to really get it and to understand which gear to change and to see things with fresh eyes a little differently. So it's about the Great Awakening, which is about squeezing people to wake up out of their forced slumber. And then we've got the rise up of the human spirit, because the biggest trick they've ever held over us is that they have been complicit in forcing through duress and coercion our will to say yes. So that will right now has to say sort of stop, and we have to get real clever in how we say it. I do not consent. These types of things. The most successful protest in Australia was Lock the Gate. Their wording was particular, and we've got to come up with something really special. And I want to hear all of your suggestions about, because we cannot use no or stop. It's a trick, right? We have to find a way of coming together in one banner, like Lock the Gate. You know, it stopped a lot of fracking, it stopped a lot of mining, it stopped a lot of land stealing, which is part of Agenda 21. So I just would love to hear some really fantastic, clever ways of using semantics. Anyhow, I just want to give a big yell out to all of those wonderful alliance that are here helping Australia. They went into New Guinea just in the last week as well. And they're working really, really hard to bring down. And I don't want anybody buying into the fear that the military is going to come and get us. We need to see the military really coming on board. They are our children, you know. They are our children. Start talking to your children. Start talking to them. So it's a little bit like the Great Awakening is a cover for the most massive operation on planet Earth with the help of on planet and off planet. And so I'm just going to leave it there. I'm desperate for a drink of water and I want to continue my beautiful walk. And I thank you, and I just really hope that helps. I hope it gives you a little bit of clarity that we're in a multi-dimensional, holographic, multi-sided event. And you've got to lift in, you've got to raise yourself right out of the poo bucket that they've set up. Rise in your spirit. Do anything you can to raise your frequency. And I love you all. We will get through this together. Lots of love.